Hi, this is the review of the orderIT trading system for July the 6th, 2021. We had 4 trades on that day. 2 were short sells and 2 were buys. First trade was EXEL, and that is Excelixis Incorporated. It tripped at 12:25:07 p.m. at a price of 18.52. It was a buy. Close the date 18:39, up 0.71%. So let's see if there's any point. So it did not come above its tripping price after it tripped. OBV is going down, so OBV actually started going down. MACD okay, came up, pretty much stays okay. DI is okay, it's moving positive, end of the day it's positive. Bollinger Band came up, stayed sideways, moving positive. I'm going to say this is a possible, but indicators are actually showing not a strong positive. It's somewhat moving in the positive direction, but not strongly. But I'm going to make it a possible just because the fact that the stock is up, it's up above its tripping price, it's above its previous close. The indicators are not terrible. They are moving mostly on an upward movement. Only one is down, is OBV at the end of the day, but the other ones are all up. I'm going to leave that as a possible. Next trade is CCXI. That's Chemocentrics Incorporated, tripped at 12:40:18 p.m. Price of 14.49. It was a buy. It closed the date 14:05, up 6.60%. 12:40, 14:52 there, 14:48. This is somewhat like the previous stock that it did come up, it tripped, but it just couldn't move above its tripping price. So let's see if that's another possible. OBV is okay, not consistently. It's up and down. End of the day, it's somewhat moving down a bit, but it did have some positive movement. MACD, it's positive and then moving somewhat sideways. And today it's a little bit upwards, but downward trend a little bit. DI is somewhat positive. Bollinger Band somewhat positive. It's just the end of day. It actually had a little bit of a drop moving downward, so it was moving negative at the end of the day. But the indicators are somewhat showing a positive direction, but again, like the previous one, not heavy. But again, the stock traded fairly highly above its tripping price, actually above its previous close, up 6%, so that's not too bad. I'll say it's a possible, but again, like the one previously, it's not a strong possible. Next trade is EXPR. X Express Incorporated, tripped at 2:15:09 p.m. at a price of 5.78. It was a short sell. It closed the day at 5.81, down 5.68%, so that's a positive. And we'll have a look at the indicators to see if they are showing a negative direction. LBV is somewhat moving down. MACD is actually in the afternoon when it tripped, actually. It dropped down here. MACD came down and tripped, but then you can see it recovered. DI, it recovered, even though a good portion of negative and Bollinger, yeah. The indicators are actually not strong and are not showing a strong negative movement. To some extent, the activity is somewhat moving sideways. Next trade is PBRA. Actually, I realized, yeah, that's not down. I have to check. Yeah, I just realized I actually the stock was down 5.68%. I'm going back to EXPR. Stock was down. It actually closed above its tripping price, not below it. I thought for some reason I was seeing below. And we can see 228, 215. Hmm. Okay, that's not a positive. But again, looking at the indicators, like the previous two, it's showing somewhat of a downwards direction. Indicators are, but not strong again like the other ones. The stocks are showing sideways movement, so there's not so much a strong indication, and they're not moving down heavily in the direction that they tripped at. So it's a bit of a difficulty, but I'm going to say because it's down a good amount from previous close, and the indicators are not terrible. They're not great, but they're not terrible. They are showing somewhat of a downward movement average. So I'm going to leave that as another possible. Next trade is PBRA, and this one is not picking up. It's not seeing that in Yahoo. Well, let's go take a look to see if I can see that anywhere else. PBR. PBR-A. Okay. This is Google. This is Petrolia Brasileiro ADR, whatever that is. Okay, it tripped at 265 and it closed the day at 1061, so that's a positive. At least we had one positive of the day. It closed below and it was down 7.74%, so it was down a good amount too. So let's just check to see if the indicators are showing a downward movement or if it's basically sideways like the other three. OBV, not great. You can see end of day, late afternoon, it was moving downwards. MACD is actually showing sideways moving somewhat. It did recover after it dropped. Yeah, see down here is where it tripped, and then it started to recover, move. Averages started coming up again and move sideways. DI is good. DI is good. DI is showing very strong negative directional movement, so DI showing that and Bollinger showing that. So we have two indicators not strong movement negative and two indicators that are strong negative movement. So overall the stock was moving down in a more negative fashion. Anyways, that's one out of four stocks. That's only 25% positive, but with the three stocks that I'm giving the possibility on, that's 100%. So not a great day, though it's one of those questionable days. The day is stock markets were down yesterday, so it's probably a result of that. I'll leave it at that. Thank you.